Harlan Guthrie, and I'm here once again with the one, the only, Mr. Alex Guthrie.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and happy
Top of the evening to you.
Day.
I am here, of course, with the lovely Ms. Jo Fallak.
Oh, hello.
And of course, we are joined once again by the incomparable Mr. James Schwartz.
Hello, everybody.
Right. And tonight we return to our B horror movie roots with a little game we like to call When Irish Eyes Are Dying. Yeah, that's right. Tonight's going to be a super serious, super intense. No, it's not. We watched Troll 2 not too long ago. That's right. We tried to watch Troll 2 and we got, I don't know.
Not Trolls 2.
No, Troll 2.
Troll 2.
And it has nothing to do with the original, by the way. It's Troll 2,
that's right.
No connection to the first one. And
Have you seen this movie, Alex?
he's watched the
No,
memes.
I haven't, but I know a lot about the how they don't connect.
Oh no!
Sort of like that Halloween movie that doesn't go with any of the other Halloween
Yeah,
movies.
Season of the Witch. The best part about Troll 2 is when you read the Wikipedia, it was like the shoot was plagued with a number of rewrites and da-da-da. Additionally, the directors didn't speak English. And they're like, they didn't have any translators. And they're like yelling at the actors to do different things.
You can tell in like the dialogue of the movie.
It's
as
so
well.
good. So tonight's going to be bad, but not for the reason you think it is. But we're really excited. It's going to be a great time.
Nobody speaks English. That's why.
That's right. Not tonight either. We have a new episode of Dice Shame coming out tonight, or tomorrow morning, I should say, at 1:20. And there was a new episode of Dimension Door, I believe, today, correct?
Yeah.
Severed Fate was today.
Or Severed Fate, my apologies.
Severed Fate, the other Dimension Door podcast that is more horror themed and spoopadoopy.
The spooky one. Everyone plug your ears. So hot. But yeah, so Severed Fate was this week, which means Dimension Door is back next week. Welcome. If you're watching on Twitch, I don't have the feed open. Someone else will. I am reading on Discord. Cheers to everybody who's here. Yeah, we're going to have some fun tonight.
God bless every one of you who shows up Wednesday night before we even start streaming and you're just there in the chat saying hello, hanging out. I love it. Posting shitty gifs. You're my favorite people. All of you.
Let's see.
Cumulative MVP.
That's right.
Alex, what are you drinking tonight?
Oh, okay. So I've got a few things here. So I forgot the coloring, but I do have a green beer.
Oh, nice.
Beer. And of course, I've got some whiskey. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Liz.
Oh, there she is.
What's James drinking? Liz, let us know.
James is drinking an Irish coffee with Jameson whiskey and a spoon of vanilla sugar and a Bailey's cream topping.
Wow.
Nutmeg, yes, garnish.
Holy.
La-di-da.
Fancy.
She's fantastic with the drink.
Thank you,
Yeah, she is.
Liz.
She's dynamite with cocktails.
I'm drinking
And?
water.
Also, I am drinking water.
Maybe I should get a beer, though.
You should have a beer. I'm
Well,
going to
you
have to
work,
go to work.
In
but
true Irish tradition, it is an island surrounded by
water.
partially
So we need
Oh,
to be
I thought you
drinking.
were being like philosophical. Like, I am an island surrounded by those who drink by sticking with one, but then
No.
you're drinking
So we need to drink salt water.
Yes.
tonic water? Salt
Well,
water? I'm gonna
it's
get this.
Oh.
on the ocean side.
That's true.
I think in the Isle, it's.
Well, inside of the island, it's not salt water now. Would you
in
pass
the
me
Isle-
a soda,
in
please?
the Isle side. I'm saying like in the British Isle side, it's fresh water.
I don't think so.
I think so. I was speaking with somebody who's from the Isle of Man. And they said it was fresh water. So.
That doesn't sound like a thing. I mean, sure. You know what?
Well, it's brackish, you know.
Brackish water. That's different.
Yeah.
But where's this?
But it is. But it's.
You know what?
We
It's fine.
should really.
I'm not a geographer.
Brackish?
We
What?
know what brackish means.
Yeah, I know what brackish
He's saying
means.
that on one side, Ireland is not salt water. It's brackish water.
I don't know.
I will get that. I will get the answer.
It sounds like Alex knows. You've been to Ireland, haven't you?
No.
Oh.
Wait, they have a whole coast of water that's just backwash? Thank you.
That's
Good
good.
night, everybody.
Da-da-da-da-da.
And
James.
thank you for joining us.
All right, should we do this?
Wait, I want to say Invictus Con.
Oh, yeah, Invictus Con.
Oh yeah.
That's all. No, it's starting 9 days from today. So start your engines, get revved up, get ready, get loose, get hot, get sexy. and all that.
Joe, these people don't need to get sexy. They already are.
True say. Go to our website if you need more details or ask any of the fine people on our Discord.
Yeah, there's lots of details there.
Lots of details. Go find them.
Go find them. And if you're watching like the video or something.
Yeah, do it.
What's the room channel, the channel name for this game?
When Irish eyes are smiling. Well, someone
on,
at
you want
Alex.
YouTube or Twitch?
There we go. No, I found it. It's on Discord. Sorry.
He's got it.
Irish eyes are
Alex.
smiling.
Where am I? Who
Or
is
dying.
this? What's
whatever.
going
Are
on?
dying.
Are
Of course,
dying.
Dying. Not
Cool.
smiling.
Alex, what's your character's name?
Brennan.
Brennan.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Classic.
Cool. Here we go. When Irish eyes are dying.
When Irish eyes are dying.
After many years in Texas, your father has decided to uproot the family that he loves so very much and bring them to a quiet little coastal village in Ireland. Your father, Jack Gray, has been a businessman all his life. He's earned them dollars, but now he wants to try his hand at a simpler life. He piles the whole family in the car and drives to Ireland. Because it's a B movie. And then you're going to show up in a car.
Dad, are we there yet?
Brandon, I'm going to need you to be a little more quiet. I can't seem to find the place. Do you see it there, Marion? He turns to your mother, Marion Gray, who's sitting in the front seat with this comically large map that she's trying to look through. I don't really see it, Jack. Would you kids be quiet back there?
I'm just like listening to my Walkman, looking at the window, not paying attention to any of my family members.
It's not fair that we had to be uprooted from our Iowa home and we have to drive all the way to Ireland. This is so ridiculous.
Well, Iowa, Texas is a nice small town. I agree, but most importantly, Ireland is going to be our new town. Would you please tell Dakota to take off her headphones? Dallas, tell your sister to pay attention now.
Come on, sis. Get those off. Dad's talking.
Dallas and
Stop bugging me. Oh my gosh.
Dad, do they even have baseball in Ireland?
Of course. In fact, I believe Ireland is where baseball was most likely invented. Why the Irish folk are kind, generous, noble people that love their countryside. And he gestures outside, and you see fields of rolling green hills. A man standing next to his sheep, spitting violently on the floor.
I haven't seen a shopping mall in hours.
Dakota, Marion, your mother says, you're not going to be seeing many shopping malls out here anymore. From what I hear, the small town we're going to doesn't have any shopping at all.
Where will we buy our food and clothes?
Oh, we're going to live off the land there, young Dakota. We're going to do it the way my father did back when he grew up in Ireland and then immigrated to Iowa, Texas, which is the name of the town we came from. Now, kids, I want you to keep your eyes out. Mother dear. Because that's what your parents call each other, mother and father. Mother dear, do you seem to find the turnoff? I can't quite seem to see it.
It's a different actress as our mom now.
Yeah, she's now got a wig on. And yeah, as you drive along, you notice these green, beautiful, lush hills. It's so sparse, the number of people and buildings. They seem to completely disappear in the countryside. And as the three of you sort of look around, who are we looking at? Let's give us the oldest first, Brennan.
Brennan. Of course, they named Brennan before they named Dakota and
Dallas.
You know, this is when they originally, I guess, when they lived in Ireland the first time.
No, they didn't. Keep going. We got this.
So Brennan is, 16, scrawny, curly, blonde hair. He's staring out the window, longing for his 16-year-old girlfriend. I miss Sylvia. I don't think I'll ever see her again. Her parents don't drive. Brandon just stares longing out the window.
Yeah,
Are you serious, Dad, that there's no shopping or anything here?
And Marion, your mother, turns around almost perfectly, like in the seat, so she's framed wonderfully in front of you, and she's like, "You need to forget about Sylvia, Brennan. There's gonna be plenty of other women here. Girls your age, nice ones, not like that no good Sylvia. She turns back around.
And as I stare at the window and I see the sheep that pass by in the fields, all their faces remind me of Sylvia.
Yeah, she was an ugly broad. And you turn to Dakota sitting next to you. Who's Dakota?
Dakota is a 12-year-old. She's twin to Dallas. She's played by a 20-year-old actress, but she's clearly trying to look juvenile. She's got a little bit of a belly shirt going on. She's chewing bubblegum, listening to her bright yellow Sony Walkman, and you hear Ace of Base just streaming through the headphones.
Yeah.
And she's trying her very best not to pay attention to her family, which, apart from Dallas, is just a constant source of embarrassment for her.
Of course.
Yeah.
And you see your mother, like, reach over, even though she's too far away, but her hand's in the frame. And she pulls off your, like, headphones. She's like, Dakota, are you even trying to enjoy this beautiful Irish countryside?
I mean, I guess, Mom, this isn't really my scene. I was just starting to fit in at school, and I was just making friends, and then you had to take us here. Like, why did we come here anyway?
Because, and she turns to your father, Jack, because, Dakota, we wanted to try to live off the land a little bit. Don't you understand? I wanted to be a farmer, just like my father was a farmer. Mind you, he was a different type of farmer. He was more of a farmer in the way that you farm businesses, because he was a foreign investor and bought up a lot of those. But I want to be a different kind of farmer. And seeing as we're Irish in our heritage a long, long time ago, it was the perfect opportunity to come here. Now, can't you be more like your brother? And we see Dallas sitting next to you in the window seat. What does Dallas look like?
Dallas is probably the opposite of what Dakota looks like in terms of the actor. They got an even younger child than 12. He has a really, really big, messy, just bowl cut. He's got freckles all over his face. His
Missing
teeth are
a
all
tooth.
askew. Yeah, missing a tooth and everything. And it's just, you sure this kid plays sports? I don't think he plays sports.
Yeah, no, it's perfect. Well, they needed Dakota older for the nude scene, so they were tasteful, right?
That's
But
right.
the kid can be of age.
There's like this too short of a cut of Brennan like rolling his eyes looking at Dallas.
It's cut off halfway through.
Too short.
Yeah. And then the mother turns around and her audio's out of sync and she's like, thanks, Dallas. And then turns back around. Anyway, the car turns off the road.
I
And
want to watch this movie.
This
Me
is
too.
so good.
and it
I'm
sort of
invested.
veers off to the right and it dips down to this valley. And what you see is this sleepy little Irish town. But I want to make this clear, too, for all the people who are going to flag this isn't sensitive. It's meant to be, because this is not really an Irish town. This is what a B movie in the 80s would think an Irish town looks like, and that's how we're going to play it. You see, like, basically people wearing large green overalls, and like they have red tufts of hair, and everyone's got a big corn cob pipe
It's shot
their
in
mouth.
Canada, let's be clear.
Oh, no, it's like shot in like like it's like somewhere in the Balkans. It's like way off the fucking map.
Middle of Russia.
Yeah,
Oh,
somewhere
no.
that's it is. And the
Directors
extras
don't
like,
speak English.
hello, when they talk, because they didn't cut out their dialogue. And the camera follows, the car going through the center of town, and you see, Dakota, much to your surprise, that there is a store. There is one store in town. It is large, new, and it is dressed with banners. In fact, it might look like it's their grand opening weekend. As you come across these almost village-like huts, this beautiful brick building stands center. It's a mattress store. It's just got these beautiful flares at the side, and people are crowding around, and your father pulls over and just slops. Well, this looks like quite a time to get into the Irish spirit.
Do you think they sell batteries here?
Oh,
My Walkman's
Dakota.
almost out.
Oh, sure. Why don't we hop out and look? Maybe they have some vibrating mattresses. Hey, Marion. And she laughs, but the audio's not in. She's like,
And Brennan is laughing way too much for a brother to be laughing about a sister joke.
yeah, it's like drowning out the audio. Let's get out of the car now. And they all step out of the car and doors shut. And yeah, you're standing in this beautiful small street, and your parents like immediately disappear. They walk towards
They're
you.
just not in the
They're just
shot
not in the
anymore.
scene. They were off that day. In fact, there's stand-ins. There's like, you see the backs of them, and there's like different wigs. They're similar,
good.
and they're standing at the crowd, but you don't interact with them because they couldn't be here.
Just bad dub of one of their lines from off screen.
Yeah, it's a repeat of their line, just cut
Yeah.
up so they can hear it. So you three are standing outside of the car.
Cool.
And you can tell it's clearly a different day. Brennan, the actor that
Different
plays
weather.
Brennan, his eyes are like very sunken, like he's been up all night drinking and doing hardcore drugs.
Yeah, because he's like one of those kid actors.
I suppose we should go. I suppose we should go in and get some batteries for you. And like I said in the car, I wanted to get some comic books.
All right, let's go. Marion like is like not walking, and then she starts walking towards the store, and yeah, we go inside. What does it look like?
Well, before you even get inside, you hear a bike skid, and a boy and two others, sort of like a little trio of toughs, come up and they say, "How what are you doing here in our town?"
What language is that?
It's a Russian actor trying to do Irish. So that's that.
I think he nailed it.
Thank
That was
you.
Perfect.
Thank you. What are you doing in our town?
Dakota like scuffs her foot in the loose gravel, and she's like, "We just moved here from Iowa, Texas, and we're new in town."
And he gets off his bike and walks over to Dallas. "Do you think you're tough, huh?" And he flips the hat off your head. And it just goes back. And it falls on the ground. There's like a slow motion shot of the hat falling.
Yeah.
Hey, knock it off! And I give him a little shove.
"I did knock it off your fucking head." And the two other toughs walk up on either side of him. And as you shove him, they start shoving Dallas a little bit.
Whoa, Dakota gets in there. No one pushes her brother. She gets in there and she shoves one of the littler guys.
What does Brennan do?
I feel like there's this like overly trying for an artistic shot of like seeing my feet walk up.
Yeah.
And then it like cuts up to my face and I'm like, "Hey, stop it."
It's a real low angle and you look tough. And then it cuts back and you're like 7 feet taller than them because you're like a 34-year-old actor. And they're like, and they step back and they're like, "Fine." And they give up with like no resistance. They're like,
And
"But
there's,
you
like,
better
I,
watch
like,
your
push one of
back."
the kids, and he like falls and like legitimately hurts himself, but they cut it.
They cut it so that they don't sue. "You better be careful. This is our town and we don't like Ohioans or Iowans.
Texasans.
Texans.
Yeah."
I
And
think we all say that in unison, actually.
Texans.
And he turns to his others and he says, "McConnell, O'Reilly, let's get back on our bikes and leave." And they get back on their bikes and they go away. And as he's running away, he says, "You'll remember the name, Jimmy." And he bikes away.
I won't.
And Brennan approaches Dallas and Dakota, and he puts his arms around you guys. It's sort of a hug. He's like, "It's okay. We got to stick together, and we'll be just fine in Ireland. It's just us three now. We have to rely on each other."
What do you think those guys were even talking about? And who's James? I mean, Jimmy.
And Brennan, as you're like talking to your siblings, your eyes float above and you see on the far side of the street this like smoking hot 20-year-old, 16-year-old. And she's like walking down the street and she's got like big blonde hair and she's like chewing bubble gum and she's got big hoop earrings and like a pink hoodie. And she
Like clearly a Russian actress.
and she's like
A
walks
Russian
over.
escort.
Yeah, and she like looks at you from across the street and she's like, and she just kind of turns away.
It's slow motion though, and they blur the edges a little bit.
Yeah, it's blurry. It's a blurry shot.
I think you guys should go buy batteries. And Dallas, and
Yeah.
there's like a moment where we connect eyes. Get a couple of comic books because it's gonna be boring here. But I'm gonna go and try and remember Sylvia. And Brennan crosses the street.
Yeah.
Okay, Brennan. And I
Dallas
lean
and
over
Dakota.
and I pick up my hat that was on the ground.
Yeah, and
Aw.
it's like weirdly dirty. Like nothing happened, but it's like it's covered in dust.
It's covered in dust. The bill is bent now for some reason.
Yeah.
It's like broke.
You like put it on your head and like sands like
And I
Pig pen.
and I look as I'm crossing the road, I look back at Dakota and Dallas, and in a very like obvious foreshadow way, I say, "And be careful." Are you silent?
Yeah,
Is he messing with us?
I think he is. It's wonderful.
You guys went silent. You guys, I can't hear anything from you. I thought
Well,
he
I
was
can hear
messing with
you,
us.
Alex.
Yeah, I
so
can hear
that's
you
good.
too.
I thought this was for dramatic effect. What's
I thought
extra
so, too.
interesting is they
you
could
guys
definitely see Harlan doing all the talking
I
because
know.
it jumped to his window.
It was like,
Yeah. It was like
okay,
that. It was
Harlan is
perfect.
muted. It's not just us. Okay.
It fits perfectly for. Ah,
Yeah, there's like a
perfectly
whole
for the
segment of
movie.
the film that's
Yeah.
just like the sound cut out. Somebody.
yeah,
fucked
and
up
it's
hard.
you like explaining to us like all the
Yeah.
bad things that could happen. We're just standing there with our eyes really wide,
Yeah.
and there's just
There-
background noise like sheep bleeding.
Yeah, there's like this whole scene. Oh, I'll just describe the scene. It's like this camera shot of looking down the street and then turning around.
Testing.
looking Down the... Here we
There you
go.
are.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
I don't know why the
That's
thing
okay. I
cut
thought
out.
we were being punked. It was perfect.
Oh
No,
yeah, we're
but-
punking.
So yeah,
You
you
were very expressive and like hand motions, and I'm like, oh, this is gold. This is
Oh, they're
fucking gold
quiet
right
too.
here.
Sorry, I've turned you guys up too. Sorry, I
Okay.
was streaming, so I turned down the.
All right, here we go.
game. They're turned up. We're back. So yeah, as you turn, Brennan, you see there's a leprechaun standing between your siblings, and he's like smiling. He's got this devilish grin and these like ghostly pale eyes, and this hat that's tilted, and he's like, eh. And then you like rub your eyes, and he's gone.
In a very comic way. I'm like,
But he's gone.
what?
Like it never existed there, and you're like, and then you go
I can do
without
that.
being concerned at all. You go.
Yeah.
It's just the road trip
So-
hallucinations.
There you go.
So Brendan goes
So-
across. We'll do that in a second. Dakota,
Yeah.
you pick up your hat, or Dallas, you pick up your hat, and you guys see, yeah, there's the mattress store. There's a bunch of people standing around. There's the back of your parents and or the actors playing your parents or the stand-ins. And yeah, where do you guys go?
I mean, Dakota's not actually terribly interested in a mattress store, but you said this is like the only
Yeah.
place that's open on the whole strip.
Yeah.
Mattress store?
Cool.
I mean, no,
Well-
there are other things that are open, but none of
catch
them are
that.
like labeled.
Oh, okay.
You don't know what the fuck they are.
Well, I mean, Dakota just starts walking over to the mattress store. She's gonna check on the crowd, see what's going on.
Yeah. Okay. Dallas, you following?
Yeah, I'm trailing right behind her.
Yeah, the two of you walk, and everyone is just sort of like filler. They're like, "Oh, alligator."
Rhubarb,
They're not saying
rhubarb,
anything. They're
Pineapple,
Alex, what is
pineapple,
that?
pineapple.
Cheers to all the. This is a beer.
Oh.
Cheers to everybody.
Cheers.
watching
Cheers.
Happy St. Patty's Day.
Clink.
Yeah, you guys walk over. You see the crowd forming, and you sort of move through the crowd, and you see this mattress store, and there's just like a guy like, "Come on in." He's like waving on repeat, and it's just that. You can go in if you want.
Yeah, she turns to Dallas and she's like, "Well, I guess it's better than sitting in the car for 18 hours."
Yeah, that sure was a long drive.
And as you're like wheeling through the crowd, an old man grabs the two of you. He's like, "Get out of town while you can. Quickly. You need to leave this place." And then the owner of the mattress store is like, "Oh, come on, old man." Something. MacGuffin.
McGregor.
Old man MacGuffin. And he's like, "Look at me. Leave while you still can." And the music is like really intense. And then he stands up and they're like, "Ha, he's just being a silly goose there." "Oh, he's just being a silly goose there." And they push him aside. And they're like, "You best be going now." And your parents are like, "Come on, Dallas and Dakota. We're waiting on you." And they're like already in the car for some
I
reason.
feel like we share like a really significant look
Yeah.
for like a good 3 seconds.
Yeah. But the framing
like,
is like
cuts back
really
and
bad. Like
forth?
the framing's like this.
Yeah.
You're like,
Cuts back and forth like 4 times.
yeah.
Like, why did they so
With worse and worse framing. Meanwhile, Brennan, you walk across the road and you see this woman and she's standing there and she turns to you and she's like, "Yeah, what do you want?"
So Brennan very nonchalantly walks up to the gumball machine that's right next to her, and he's like, "So, do you live here?"
And she's like, yeah, you think you're hot shit, but you're nothing compared to my boyfriend. My boyfriend, Zach. You don't even know him, and you won't unless you stay around here any longer. But okay, fine. Like, she just speeds through her lines. You know, there's like there's no pausing. There's no like articulation. She's just reading them really quickly. She's not even making eye contact with you. She's like looking down.
Yeah. Well, I bet that your boyfriend and I would get along, and I would fight him, and I would win.
You think you'd win? You wouldn't even have a chance. My little brother Jimmy could take you.
That was your brother? Oh man. Where I'm from Texas.
You think I'm impressed? I'm not impressed with Texas. My little brother could take you. Anyway, make sure you stay away from what? And she like calls to somebody who didn't call. And then you see down the street, all of a sudden there's like 5 girls and they're like, come on, Marcy. She's like, yeah, see you later, Brennan. Even though you never said your name, she knows it. She walks away.
Yeah. Oh, well, hopefully I'll see you around. Oh.
Your dad's leaning on the car. Come on, Brennan. Honk, 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 honk. And I gotta say, this is like one of those cars from like Christmas Vacation with the best, like the station wagons. Yeah, but it's got like 2 American flags off the back. It's like dual American flags.
Dual American flags and 1 Texas flag that is bigger than the American flag.
Oh,
Naturally.
yeah.
It's blocking the entire back windshield.
With a little Iowa flag in it.
The twins are already in the car somehow.
Yep.
We're just waiting.
Yeah.
Hey, Brennan, they didn't have any comic books, but I found this mattress catalog.
Oh. Dallas, you're the man. You know what this means. I just met someone that could replace Sylvia. We're gonna need a mattress. Like overtly sexual joke for a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
And it's just this kid staring back at him like,
but the music is like perfect. And then your dad starts up the car and he drives and you leave the town and you see a few people eyeing you on the road like Durr! And you turn off and sort of and you come up to this beautiful farmhouse and it's sitting just off the town, a long dusty road all the way down, and there's a beautiful red barn to the right of it, lots of field behind it, some sheep, and in a second you're like standing out of the car and your dad's stretching. He's like, oh, that was a long ride, even though like he already stretched, like they forgot continuity, and he's like, oh, like they added the scene in of the mattress after the fact. Like this is where the movie was originally supposed to get you guys out of the car.
yeah.
Marion, it's a beautiful house, even more beautiful than the picture.
We all get out and stretch, do the same sort of thing. 18 hours in the car.
18 long hours. Marion, the picture, it's almost exactly the same. And she like holds up the picture and it's an exact still of the shot. It just looks exactly the same. She's like, yeah, well, I trust the person who sold it to us. Let's go inside and see. And suddenly you hear a voice. Oh, and it goes, well, hello there. From next door, and you see there's like a similarly sized house, and this man walks up in a big American flag shirt.
Like the boom mic is like just in the top of the shot, just kind of hanging down.
Yeah, and he's standing at his fence, and he's like, well, hello. I didn't see you guys pull up, but welcome, neighbors. My name is Courtney Berg. And this is my wife, Donna Berg. And this is my son, Tommy Berg. And all 3 of them are waving. And they're holding these like green smoothies. And he, despite there's like a hole in the fence, he like walks over the fence awkwardly and walks over and he like hands it to your dad.
Done that.
Have a drink. This is a beautiful concoction. It's a great way to stay in shape. And he hands you this like green sludgy thing, Jack Gray. I'm talking to myself, and he's like, "Oh, I don't mind if I do." And he takes a sip, and he's got this green mustache. Well, welcome. And the mother's waving as well to these weirdos.
And Brennan returns a wave.
We all wave.
I feel like, yeah.
It's like a perfect shot. And Tommy climbs over as well, and he's like, "Hi, I'm Tommy Berg. My dad bought this house. We used to live in Texas, Ohio. And we decided to move here because he wanted to become a farmer." He's like he's like pulled you 3 kids. He's pulled you 3 guys away. You're like staying at the back of the truck. He's like, this is my mom and my dad. Where did you guys come from?
We came from Ohio, Texas.
Ohio, Iowa, Texas. I believe.
Oh.
Ohio, Iowa, Texas.
That's so
Hey,
funny.
do you like baseball?
No, I love baseball. And he like pulls on his cap. Even he didn't have it, but he like pulls it tighter for some reason. That's great.
And your cap is like clean and crisp.
Yeah,
too,
it's like
Dallas?
perfect. Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Yeah,
Yours is
it's got like a tag on the
nothing
back.
Not
happened to
dirty
it.
anymore.
And your cap is a different cap. It's like the same shade, but like totally different cap. And you overhear your dad, Jack, talking to this Mr. Courtney Berg, and he's like, "Well, anything exciting happen around here?" And he's like, "Well, yeah, actually, there's some funny things. A lot of Americans are moving in because, well, the real estate is just so dang cheap. A lot of these houses that had plenty of people in them, they're all gone empty now. And the people, well, no one knows where they went." And Donna, who's standing next to him, she's like, she doesn't have lines. She just sort of nods. Because they didn't want to pay her a speaking role. And
Who needs one?
Tommy turns back to you guys and sort of pulls you to the back. And he's like, "Yeah, it's weird. A lot of empty houses.
How
Brendan,
long have
like-
you lived here, Tommy?
We just moved in a week ago."
Well, it's going to be really nice to have a neighbor so close by that's American, just like us.
Yeah.
I feel like Brendan pipes up. He's a different actor wearing a curly wig. He's like an older guy. He's like, "Hey, Tommy, what did you have you met Marcy in town? Because I just met her."
Yeah, Marcy's pretty cool. She's the older sister of one of the boys that picks on me at school, Jimmy.
Jimmy? Oh yeah, him. He knocked off Dallas's baseball cap. I'm gonna get him.
And the parents are in the background, but they're just like doing the same actions over and over. Like every once in a while they reach across and shake hands, and like they're not meant to be focused on, but if you did, you'd be like, "What the fuck are they doing?" They're just repeating the actions.
Dakota fully spikes the lens, like looks directly into the camera. She's like, "That Jimmy's up to no good. I know it."
And Tommy gives you the plot, and he goes, "Well, I was thinking, to bond, maybe we should go into one of these other vacant houses and see if we can get to the bottom of why so many people have been missing."
That sounds like an
Sounds
adventure.
Like fun. I'd like an adventure.
Yeah, that sounds like an adventure. Fun. A fun adventure.
Are you sure we wouldn't get into any trouble?
Maybe. Let's not do it. And Tommy turns around.
And then she looks over her shoulder at her parents who aren't paying attention to her, and she gets a little bit of a bitch streak, and she's like, "You know what? Let's do it. Come on."
And Tommy, who's been walking away, stops and he goes, "Huh?"
And she starts flouncing down the driveway.
Yeah. Smash cut to the four of you are like walking through a field. We don't know where. It's like a nondescript field, but it's somewhere away. And you see Tommy like open a fence, and he's like, it's like a wooden fence. He's like, "This way. I just call it the old Bernard house." For no real reason.
Just to himself.
Just
He's
do-
been here for a week.
I call it the old Bernard house because I don't know why. And he opens the thing and like messages if you do, but he stops Dallas and he's like, "Dallas, I think you're pretty cool."
Thanks.
Fucking 8-year-old kid.
My brother Dallas is so cool. Did you know, Tammy, that Dallas and Dakota are twins?
Huh? That's
It
pretty
means
cool.
they can read each other's minds.
Well, you know what else? The Irish say that that's good luck. And then there's like a long
It
pause
is?
because they want the audience to get that there's foreshadowing. And they're like, "Anyway, let's go check out the Bernard house." And you all crawl through and you see this hugely dilapidated house, but it's like Croatian in design. Like it's so clearly not on location. It's almost like an industrial building that they tried to retrofit. There's like a tarpaulin hanging up on the wall with spray painted lines for wood. It's like very, very clear. And it's only like a second. It's like one cut, like a millisecond. And then you guys are walking through the front door. This interior location.
Can we start a Kickstarter to get this movie funded?
Yep. Dakota's like way overacting here. She's like blinking because of the darkness, and she's like brushing away cobwebs that aren't really there.
Oh, yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, like overly
It's
fake
so
cobwebs.
dirty in here. Ugh.
Yeah, but the cobwebs are like so clearly not even cotton, but that fake. You know, it's like
Yeah.
so
There's
clearly
like
fake.
Halloween
a
cobwebs.
plastic spider like just stuck right on there. Yeah.
Yeah. And it drops down in front of you guys like boing, 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 boing.
Ah!
And like, you know, Tommy moves it and he's like, well, my dad said that this place used to be owned by a Mr. Bernard. Well, I guess that's where I got the name. But he looked at it before we were going to buy this one. No one heard from Mr. Bernard since. Maybe we should investigate. And he hands a flashlight to each of you for some reason. Because, like, no one had anything. He just hands them to you guys. I'll take this floor. And he just goes in the next room. The laziest fucking look.
Great.
Yeah. I think that, Dallas, you should watch over Dakota. And it's like clearly this like 8-year-old looking over this 20-year-old.
And there's actually one like nice shot here. The first actual nice shot
it's a
in the
panning
film
shot. It's like,
of like the three of us like pointing our flashlights in different corners of the room, and it's like actually
That's
kind
the
of nice.
movie cover shot.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's
Yeah.
the
One they
one
still-
thing that's done like professionally.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Who's taking the basement? Who's taking upstairs?
Oh, the twins are going in the basement.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Then Brennan heads up the creaky stairs.
Brennan,
feel like-
step by step. You go ahead.
I feel like there's like this shop of like me like guiding Dallas, the actor, you know, like no, stand here.
Yeah.
Stand here.
No, but like he's like looking down at his marks on the floor for
I was
where
just
to stop.
gonna say, like, you can
He's
see
like-
a piece of tape that are like.
Yeah, he's like walks a few steps. He looks down. Then he takes a step back for framing,
There you go. God.
and then there's like another shot where you see the tape on the floor where he's like standing. It's like a wider shot. They didn't cut it out. Yeah, Brennan, you walk up these stairs, creak by creak by creak. It's like a repeating sound effect. It's not different. It's like, it's like they just kept using it again. And you get up to the top, and this dilapidated set. They're trying, you know, but it's pretty much just a regular house. And there's cobwebs strewn about, and you enter the room to your left, and you see this bed. And it's sort of welted in the middle, like real sagging down on the ground, and a dresser.
Air mattress.
Yeah, it's like an air mattress. And your light glances over, and you just hear a and that's it. And then it cuts away. Dallas and Dakota, the two of you are walking down the stairs, or you're standing at the top of the stairs, and you hear that a little bit, maybe. No, it's hidden.
It's secret. And I feel like Dakota reaches over and grabs Dallas's hand, and she says, "Don't tell anyone." And then we start walking down the staircase.
And when she says that and takes his hand, there's just like a very short shot of Dallas, and he's blushing furiously.
Yeah, the actor's
is
trying to
just
hide
like,
his erection.
This 20-year-old just took my hand and spoke very gently to my face. I don't understand these feelings I'm having.
The actor is like hunched
We all know what
forward,
that feeling
trying to
is.
hide his erection. He's like,
Yep.
yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's go. And he's just like holding the flashlight like in front of him.
Her breasts are like right here, height-wise. He's like, yeah, let's do it.
Twins, like a foot difference in height. Very
like,
good.
Like 5 feet.
Yeah, we walk down the staircase again, like overdoing it on the tiptoe sneaking.
I feel like Dallas is like trying to speak his lines. He's like,
It's getting really excited.
okay, Dakota.
And you get to the basement, and it's this, you know, this It's the same set as upstairs, just reused. Like the pieces are a little moved, but it looks, So you cast your light across, and there's another door where the door that Brendan went through in the previous scene is. And you go through, and this room is bizarre. The walls are sort of like fake stone, and the ground is almost like a dirt. They've just shoveled tons of sand in here. But you see on the floor in the center is this elongated 5-foot sploosh. It's like this dark green splorch. It's like this splurge on the floor. And it's just splooky.
God bless your onomatopoeias.
Thank you.
Yeah, really.
So it's lying there in the center.
Good. There's like a really close shot of Dakota's eyes like narrowing,
Yeah.
and then as she sees the splooch on the ground, and then she walks over. Is this what I think it is? And she like kneels down and like hand reaches out, just hesitating, and then touches it.
Yeah. And it goes boop. There's like a little bubble goes, and it's like a
Like a
real-
ooze.
It's like a dark green pool of ooze. And then like Tommy's suddenly there next to Dallas. He's like, "What is it?"
I don't know. Timmy.
This looks like an ooze puddle. Ew. And she stands up. She wipes her hand against the wall.
Yeah.
This is gross. Let's get out of here.
Wait a minute. And Tommy walks over and he like kneels next to it. And he reaches into the ooze and he pulls out a ring. And that has a B on it. He's like, "B for Bernard. This is Mr. Bernard. Remember? I said he wore a ring?"
And
Which he didn't, but they cut.
and then Dakota just screams like full out.
Brennan, you hear Dakota screaming from downstairs as this laughter sort of, and you spin around and like suddenly you're like drenched in sweat. Like they cut a different scene, right? Like they just sprayed you and sprayed you and sprayed you. You're like covered in sweat as you turn around.
Yeah. And then there's like a footstep sound, and then I'm in the same room, but I clearly haven't run. I'm like, is everything okay?
Is everything
What happened?
okay? And you're like wiping
found-
coke off your nose. Did you guys need me?
Is everything okay?
I think this is the dead body of Mr. Brender.
What do you think, Dallas?
I think, and then like this whole time he's just like looking over at Dakota and just being like, I think, and the ring, and I think.
And there's like a voice off screen that goes, "You think the ring might be related to Brent?"
I think the ring is related to Brennan.
And then you hear
Bernard.
and you guys like all turn and you see running down the stairs a figure, that same figure you saw in the street, except the actor's like having a tough time seeing the stairs through the mask, so he's like taking the stairs really slow.
It's truly terrifying though, in a Lynchian way.
Yeah, but like the music obviously is like really intense, like, but he's like,
It's like watching a child trying to walk down the stairs, hold
exactly.
the
It's got one hand on the railing, but it's still laughing. It's like, and you guys are reacting as if it's really quick. It keeps cutting between your reactions. It's like,
ring. Yeah.
Whoa, what was that? It was so fast.
we need to get out of here. But it's coming. Like you see it. It's walking down the stairs in a very slow way. This green, scaly creature. It's like not a leprechaun. It's like an unlicensed leprechaun. It's got the hair isn't quite red now. They like changed it halfway through production. It's a little bit more like blue. And
Someone took a lizard costume.
Yeah,
and like,
they just they like changed the nose. It's like squinched up.
put a hat on it.
Yeah, and the music is like as it's walking down. It's like, "I'll get you," and Tommy is like, "No, we need to get out of here now!" And he starts searching for an exit as this creature starts descending. What do you guys do?
I want to
Quick.
do one of those like, which way is he going to go around the gross pool sort of.
Yeah, so you guys get on the other side of the pool.
Ooh,
Yeah, get on the other side of the pool and like
Yeah,
get
there's a
ready to go
pool.
the opposite way.
And
The
he-
pool
Yeah,
of
we're all
goo.
doing like we're all kind of
Oh,
punched
right.
down and our arms are out and we're like,
like
Yeah.
doing the grapevine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And the leprechaun is finally at the bottom of the stairs. And he like takes a second. He's like, and then he turns towards you and starts going. And the actor was like, "Well, I couldn't do that quick, guys. Relax." It's very clearly like an old man, right? He's like, and he walks over and he sort of dances on the other side of the pool, and he makes like a really weak gesture. You know how when someone's chasing you, they like kind of dash. He's kind of like, because he's meant to. They're like, "Oh, pretend you're gonna go one way," and he kind of goes, and you guys all react, and then he goes just like this, the other one with his hands.
Yeah, Dallas, Dakota, get behind me. Get behind me.
And we do,
I'll-
of course,
I'll
the two of us.
defend you.
We're like peeking out awkwardly from either of his arms.
Yeah,
I'm
and,
sure
Yeah.
Marcy's somewhere to be seeing me.
Yeah, and the leprechaun's like, yeah, but he's just not doing it. He just keeps going back and forth, giving you guys time. And then
and
Tommy's like,
Timmy isn't in any of these shots.
yeah, he's not in the shots, but then it cuts to him and he's like, "Let's get through the tunnel," and he points, and there's like a hole in the wall suddenly, like it was always there, but
There's, like,
no
a-
one referenced it.
There's a weird light coming from it too.
Yeah, but it's like a stage
Yeah.
light.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah, yeah.
clearly
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a LCD or like
a
fucking
fog machine, just like spewing a little bit of fog.
Come
weekly
on!
around.
And the 80s music is like as you guys like start running through the tunnels and
so much sin.
come on, he runs. Are you following?
Oh yeah, we go.
Yes.
I go.
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah, for sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
These are the
It's
tunnel
like
scenes.
clearly like a different. This is now like it was all shot in that first industrial area where they did the one shot. Now it's like this is this tunnel is from some industrial area.
Yeah, now it's like
So they're-
it's like a big pipe you guys are filming in.
Yeah.
And yeah, you break out and you're like in just a sewer system type thing, but you're running and you see the gremlin like turns finally managing to get around the pool and he
Leprechaun.
skulks towards the hole real small and then he runs into the hole and you hear his echoes and the music's pretty good at this part. It's kind of like that dope John Carpenter like music. Alex, how does it sound?
Oh, it's like John.
That's good.
And I feel like Dakota's running, and then she slips. Her
Yeah.
like sneaker like gets stuck,
Can I
and
say
she
something?
falls down. Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Totally random. I was making that, and then my Zoom popped up. It said playing music. Set up professional audio in audio settings.
Look at you.
It literally thought I was doing fucking music.
You were that fucking convincing. MVP goes to you.
Good job.
Yeah,
No.
Dakota slips and she like tries to pull her foot out, and you need help from somebody else.
Yeah, I
obviously.
do. Obviously, I need
Yeah.
help.
Yeah, Dallas was like, Dakota, no.
She goes,
And
my
he
ankle.
Yeah.
runs back.
Yeah.
And instead of like addressing like the ankle and getting the foot unstuck, he just grabs her arm and starts
Which
to
is
pull.
Yeah.
Great.
As the goblin gets closer, but now it's not even like it's like a goblin now. Like it's changed again because they couldn't get the
The
mask.
old
in
man actually got like had a
I
heart
had to
attack.
say,
He had a heart
I
attack.
had to say, like the actor that Dallas is like trying to help up
Dakota.
Dakota, but is like clearly like just like staring at her breast.
Just
Yeah.
loving
Like-
the
Tearing down her
opportunity
shirt.
to touch
Come
her
on.
arms.
Not to mention the actor playing Dallas is like the only one who really cares because it's his first acting gig. He doesn't
oh
know
my
Yeah.
god,
Yeah.
he's so sincere.
everyone else is phoning it in.
Yeah.
So they've changed
Yeah.
the actor now. It's like a goblin now. It's like because they couldn't see through the mask, and he's like, and he
It's
runs
just
through.
the headpiece from the old suit, and they just tied it to fishing line, and they're
Yes.
just dragging it down the hall.
It's like on rails,
It's like tumbling a little bit.
and it gets like really close to the camera, like it's like right there. But then she's still screaming.
It's that scene where it's like gets almost there, and then there's another shot of it still approaching, and it's still
Yeah.
approaching from another angle.
Well, yeah, and then eventually like gets there, and you're like and then you get your foot loose because tugging worked, and then you're suddenly running away. But now you still have plenty of time away from
Yep.
it for some fucking reason.
Yep.
Which always drives me nuts. And yeah, you're running continually, and there's like an old like knotted wooden door in this tunnel, but it looks so different. It's like the only thing they spent money on. It's got like carvings and like still plastic, but it looks so much different.
Can
Brendan, you hit the door first.
Can I just stop right here? What's the rating of this movie, RPG?
Ooh, that's a good idea.
R.
Okay, great. I just
hard-
wanted to make
It's a
sure.
hard. I don't know. It's like PG-13, but like there's cuts in it. I don't know. It's like it's. I don't,
I'm just
I
not
think
sure
there's
how
boob-
much
I wanna see
violence we
boobs.
can approach and how
see
many
boobs.
boobs we can see.
I mean, there would be boobs, but I'll throw the boobs in.
All right,
I'll throw the boobs in.
great.
It's
Um,
R.
It's R.
It's
Yeah,
a
it's R.
bad R.
Okay, good.
It's like, why did we watch this?
Yeah.
Wait, so maybe we kill him here.
Okay, try it.
I mean, I want to see if we can do it because maybe there's like a bunch of them, but you know what I mean?
Let's do
Yeah.
it. You're at a door.
I'm down
you're-
for that.
You're standing at a door first, Brendan. You get to this like door. It's like mahogany.
Yeah, and Brennan like what does he do? He fumbles with the lock, like legitimately fumbles with the handle. Like there's
Yeah.
a shot of his hand, and he's like this. This is the handle. He's like this. Oh,
Yes.
oh no!
And for some reason, the leprechaun stopped running. He's now just like pacing. He's like, "I'm going to get you. How dare you come to the
But there's
spookly
close-up
wooklies?"
shots.
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh
And
no!
Dakota and Dallas are like
no.
pressing up against. The spookly wooklies.
And like Dallas is shoving, like putting his face in the actress's chest. It's like, oh no!
And then Tommy's like, "You can't do this to us." And he runs up to the leprechaun, and the leprechaun's like, "Yeah," and grabs
no.
Tommy, and like his mouth opens. He's like,
This is-
and starts eating Tommy alive. His like
Oh,
head,
fuck.
like his head, like a doll body, and the head of the goblin's like,
and
his
this is
like
the
feet are
classic
hitting
line
the
that,
side of the tunnel.
and this is the classic line that everyone memes. It's like, Tom, no!
They're eating him.
Tommy, no!
And Tommy starts getting like eaten. Yeah. What do you guys do?
And the door, and I get through the door, no problem. Like the door just opens. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, get in quickly! And we slam the door, and Tommy's locked behind the door.
Yeah, and you just hear this goblin like eating, and you're suddenly in this very different room. It's like a hovel. There's this like wood walls, and there's like a fireplace that's dimmed, and all of the architecture seems very like Irish, and there's like clovers on the wall.
There's a pot of stew
There's a pot
bubbling.
of stew, and there's like horseshoe.
yeah. It's like everything they could gather that was.
It's
they,
like
like,
literally
put
the
on the
production team was
walls.
like, "Yo, does this fucking star look Irish?" He's like, "Yeah, fucking make it green. It looks Irish." And there's just like a green star on the wall. And yeah, it looks like this thing's home. And you hear Tommy screaming and laughing, and you're like unfazed by his death.
Immediately
because you're so bad.
in a different scene. This is shot on a different day.
Yeah.
No one primed us for.
Your hair is blonde now. It's like
No,
it's
it's
like
I would
getting
like
shorter.
to make. I would like to make a scenic design note. There is
Yep.
an Irish flag, but the colors are out of order.
Yeah,
Good.
they're out of order. It's the Italian flag. There's a different. If you change the colors, it's a different
No,
flag.
it's
I don't know.
Mexico.
I don't know.
Mexico.
It might be-
They rotated it, so
No.
it's
Yeah,
like
it's
apt.
yeah, that's beautiful.
Hanging upside down. Very
And
good.
you enter, and it's this large, like a small sitting room with a corridor that leads on.
Where are we? I'm so lost. We're so lost.
If only Tommy was here, he could show us where to go next.
And then like there's a
It's
shot.
okay, Dallas. Don't
like,
cry.
That like fake tear stuff that's like gooey kind of on my face. And I'm just
Oh,
not
both of
crying
you.
like I can't believe he left us.
It's like Brennan hugs Dallas and Dakota. He's like, it's okay. And like, there's a shot of him groping the actress for Dakota. It's like this really, really.
Actresses in the 80s went
I'm
through a
so
lot,
fucked
man.
up. I'm
the
so
worst.
sorry.
They went through a lot.
And
No,
then
I don't mean any offense. Eh?
Hey,
it's good.
it's not me, it's the
It's
actress.
the actress.
It's
It's
like
the
this,
actress.
like-
Poor actress.
Oh,
And then she,
older
and then
man.
and then it's a different actress because she like complained.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
had to
yeah,
get rid of
yeah.
her.
And no, it's a different actress, and Brendan's no longer got an arm around this actress. Like it was
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah,
let's
yeah,
just
yeah.
Very
replace
clearly
the
doing
actress,
like the hover arm.
and you're no longer allowed to touch her. We made it in, or yeah, it's the same actress, but you just can't touch her anymore. You're like this, and you're like kind of pissed off about it. You're like, yeah, well, if Dakota wasn't such a bitch, maybe we get out of here. Like, it's throwing
yeah.
me in line.
Well, you guys, and that's when I say my line. Don't be afraid. Don't be
Thanks,
afraid.
Brennan. I
Let's
feel
get
a
home.
lot better.
It was a good speech.
Yeah.
And then you hear the door open, like slowly. There are plenty of things to like hide behind.
Yeah. Dakota runs, and then like crouches behind a table, and like her tits are kind of hanging out a little bit.
Yeah. There's like
Slow
nipplage.
cut. And where do the other two hide?
I hide behind the pot of stew. Because I imagine it's like a cauldron hanging over a fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
There's like enough room. They
Yeah, but for
Yeah.
some reason you're not burning alive.
Very
And
good.
then Brendan,
splurge
where do you
Yeah,
hide?
for the
yeah.
scene. And Brennan,
It-
like stands behind a curtain.
Yeah. And the door opens, like with a lock, despite it ever needing one. And it's the goblin. And he shuts the door and he's like wiping his mouth. But now he's more of a leprechaun again because they don't need him to do any action scenes. And he's like, hi, chai. Nothing better than a delicious little boy. And he walks into like another room and disappears for a second. You hear him like vomiting. And then he walks back out and he's like, And he sits by the fire and he puts his feet up. And like, you know, you can tell they want tension here because he like walks over the curtain and it's a shot of Brendan from like behind the curtain. And he's just like nervous, like panicking. And he reaches for the curtain and he's like, nah, I don't need to open my curtain today. And he turns around and like sits down with his feet out in front of the fire. You see his gross gnaw. This is where they spent their budget, like on the feet effects.
The feet effects.
He's like, they'll never know that town hall is where my treasure lay. And if they stopped that treasure, wow, it would eat me alive because that's the only way to defeat a leprechaun. But they'll never know. He says and
There's a
laughs.
shot of like Dakota's face, like cast in shadow with just her eyes illuminated, and she looks directly over at Dallas, and like there's a shot of him behind the stew, looking, just sharing meaningful glance.
Yeah, and he's like, yes, very good. And he puts his thick pipe down and he stands up and he's like, I better go to bed. And he walks like to another door and shuts the door behind him.
And Brennan, now it's back to the first actor.
Yeah.
Like, he's
Yeah, they replaced
like,
the actor after the grope. That's what they did. They're like, this dude's
well,
dumb.
no, like, yeah, there's like a lot that went on. There was like a second actor.
There was a
and then
coke fiend
there's story of this
situation
movie.
as well.
There's things shot.
But
out
there's
of
like, but
order.
also one of the actors in there. No, now it's like a famous actor but young. It's like Keanu Reeves. It's like Keanu Reeves in his first gig, or
It's
like
gotta be- yeah,
River
it's gotta be
Phoenix or
like-
something.
No,
Who?
what's his name? Who's Hey Girl? Who's that guy?
Hey, girl,
Oh, it's gonna come to me. Breaker High. Oh, the Canadian.
Ryan Gosling.
That's the one.
Yeah, so it's
He's like-
it's a young Ryan Gosling now.
Yeah,
like in his
he's like-
first pre movie. That's
so he's
Brendan
like
now.
actually is legit like a good actor. He's like, huh? They say treasure at the library. Was it a community center? Town hall.
Town hall.
Treasure in the town hall. Eh?
Dakota stands up and she's like, he said it was a way that he could be defeated. Let's go.
And Dallas, as you sort of stand up from behind the pot, you hear and there's like a large vacant opening to a larger room beyond, and you hear this like crackling. It's like,
I go to investigate. I have my flashlight that I haven't been holding the rest of this entire scene running through the halls.
yeah.
But I have it now. And I slowly creep over, kind of shaking from nervousness, and I flick it on and shine it into the room.
And there on the floor is like this sack of like a leprechaun. It's like this.
Ooh.
You know how the Urukai get born? It's like that. It's
Yeah.
like, "Ugh." And you look and your flashlight shines around and you notice that he's broken out of an egg. And there's all these
Okay.
these eggs, like big leprechaun eggs, because that's how leprechauns are born. And all these massive leprechaun eggs are cracking.
It's like a bunch of paper mache that someone is like just kind of moving.
Yeah, and despite the it's like very clearly rocking side to side. And despite the like sack one still trying to fight out, one of them breaks out and it's like Dada! And it's like just like a fully grown leprechaun, and he like steps out and he's like and he's ready to attack you.
Okay. My flashlight is no longer a flashlight. Instead, it is my trusty baseball bat.
Yeah.
Not even. You have it, but you pull out your baseball bat.
And then I have my baseball bat, and I'm gonna take a swing at this motherfucker.
Give me a roll. Give me a d20.
First
got
roll of
it.
the game.
First roll of the
roll
game.
of the
1
game.
hour in.
Oh
I
man.
love you, Harlan.
Okay.
This is great.
You know what? Like, I honestly believe we could just not be here, and Harlan would. It would be
I roll
just
right
as
die?
entertaining.
We're
as
adding
right
lots
there,
of
right?
fun
Oh,
every
you're
stuff.
adding so
fucking
much.
character.
I rolled an 8. Hold on.
An 8? Perfect. It's good.
No.
Wait,
I
we're
rolled
rolling
a D8.
d6s.
Oh, you rolled a d8.
Wait, we're rolling D6s?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
roll a
Roll,
D6.
roll 2d6.
2D6?
Let's do that instead.
Okay.
What? What do we roll?
He did good.
Wait,
You
do
said
have to get
2D6,
lower
right?
than-
That's
or higher?
11.
Lower than.
Is it
This is
lower?
end of the world, right?
Yeah, how do you roll
Yeah.
in the world? You roll. You want to roll
D6.
under your target. So
Oh.
yeah, you miss.
Not a
You do
D6.
bad.
Okay.
You
I
go
do
to take a
bad.
swing, but you miss.
Great.
Tell us how it happens.
I go and I swing and I'm like, yeah, I'm ready. And then I swing and like he just isn't there. It doesn't show a shot of me swinging at him. It just shows me a shot of me smashing one of the eggs and a second one popping out like,
Yeah, and
same
Brennan,
actor, just like different. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's the same shot again entirely.
And Brennan and Dakota, you hear your little brother, your brother, scream from the other room.
We gotta help him.
He's always out of breath.
Ryan Gosling is like now such a good actor. He's like, yes, come on, Dakota, let's go. And he takes you by the hand, and like all of a sudden the whole movie has suddenly changed, like so much better because he's
The
like
quality's
he's
gone
like
up.
yeah, he's like stepping in as director here and there. He's like translator. The guy speaks like 5 languages or something. I
Yeah.
don't know. Next thing you know, he's like, come on. And like
you-
there's a shot of the hand.
Dakota
there's, like,
grabs a
running.
fire poker from beside the
Yeah,
fireplace, and she
definitely.
grabs fucking.
Suddenly the movie has
What's his fucking
direction
name?
because
Brennan?
of one actor.
Yeah.
like, one
She
good
grabs his
actor.
hand, and the two of them run in, and they see Dallas getting surrounded, and so she winds up, and she's like, eh! And she tries to hit one with a poker.
Give me a roll. Give me 1 for the hit, 1 for the weapon, and then give me a negative die because now they're close enough to do something. So 3d6. So success, and you're gonna take a penalty. So
'Kay.
you like knock this leprechaun's fucking block off, but you take a little bit of damage. Tell us how.
Yeah, so she goes to defend her twin brother, runs up to him, and then takes a big swing, and she just knocks this leprechaun's head right off, but the swing sort of carries her partway around, and another leprechaun's sneaking up from behind her and gets his claws in her back and just like rakes her shirt and like cuts her back open.
Yeah.
And you see all this fake blood just start to like seep out and down her back. She goes like,
And the scream shot doesn't move. It's a close up. She's like, ah! And then it's like
Yeah.
cutting. Ah!
Yeah.
Perfect. I think that's actually from Evil Dead.
And then there's
but
a
yeah.
quick scene of Ryan Gosling, and he's like, oh, and then the actor changes again.
Yeah, now it's gone back to bad. Like he
I
came
can't-
in to fill
he's
that
like, I
one
can't
scene.
be
he's
in
like,
this, guys.
this
I'm
isn't
so
for
sorry.
me.
Yeah.
Back to the first actor.
Now the
It's like
directing is really bad again. It's
Yeah,
all
yeah.
like those angles, like in Battlefield Earth, where
Yeah.
like everything is on a 45. Like it's really bad. Brennan, it's your turn. What do you do?
Brennan's like, no way, Jose, and he picks up the bat off the ground maybe there's like a quick shot of him grabbing the bat from Dallas.
Yeah.
And he's like, no way, Jose, and then he winds up and he attacks the leprechaun.
Give me 3 dice. The last one is a negative die.
Okay, 3.
Triple threes. We'll say that
Dun,
succeeds.
dun, dun.
We'll say 3 is a hit, and the 3 cancels out the 3. So that succeeds. You kill one of these things. Tell us how.
Yeah. So I like, at true older brother fashion, I like wind up and like there's this scene of Brennan bashing in the head of this like animatronic. It's not animatronic. They don't have the budget for that. It's like this
It's just a puppet.
It's
It's
a
like a dude's
puppet.
hand.
Yeah.
bashing this head in, and there's like a lot of fake blood.
A bunch
and
of
then,
pudding comes out.
yeah, there's like rice and pudding
Ew.
mixed together. and
you kill this fucking thing, and then the other leprechaun eggs are still shaking, but you get the sense to leave.
Right.
And as you leave, you notice that
I know where the treasure is. It's in the town hall.
Yeah, and you hear something from the other room, the first room he went into to vomit in. And you walk over and you see, like, just standing up. And he's got, like, just a bit on his hair. It's Tommy. He's like, I'm all right. He threw me up. It must be because of my glasses.
Tommy!
Yeah.
Thank God you're all right. She runs over and, like, wipes some of the goo off of his face.
And then he's completely dry again. He's like, let's get out of here. And he turns, and there's just, like, stairs leading up.
Let me go.
All of a sudden. You guys run. The other leprechauns hatching out. And Tommy's like, I heard that there's treasure in the town hall. We need to run. I know where that is. And as he reaches the top step, he like bursts through double doors, and you guys are like standing in the center of town. But now there's like a fair on or something.
It's like a mattress fair.
It's like a mattress fair.
Mattress.
Mattresses for you, mattresses for me. And there's just like
Everybody
people
gets a mattress.
like dancing around, like hi, and you have to like weave through, and every once in a while there's like a leprechaun that's like ha, but like you move away from them as you're moving through this very thick crowd.
I'm trying to think. Would this actor, would they still be carrying around this baseball bat covered in like?
Yeah, they got anything at any point they want, pretty much.
So I guess like as Brennan and Dakota and Dallas are moving through the crowd, Brennan's like standing kind of in front, and like every fake leprechaun that jumps out, he's like kind of half swinging, but
Yeah.
it's not any of the two actors that we just seen. It's the first actress, this skinny like
got hired
strawberry curly haired
No, they
guy.
They shot
filmed
his part
this stuff
first.
first.
Yeah.
Right.
And I really like Jeff's idea. This is a great place for product placement.
Yeah.
So as we're going by a booth,
Oh.
there's
Would you like a Coca-Cola?
like I
Or
don't
how
know.
about some Doritos?
There's a booth
Classic
selling ballpark
Irish
hot
food.
dogs.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then Tommy's like, there, well, we can alert people. And he points, there's like a stage with like a microphone on it. And just no one's around. Well, everyone's like around it, but no one's paying attention to it. Everyone's like clearly acting.
I'm going to give you this, Dallas. Brennan's like, Dallas, you have to go and tell everybody in that microphone that there's a leprechaun on the loose. And and in the movie, this is probably one of the best scenes in the movie for B-movie horror lovers.
Yeah.
Because this is the scene where, like, you know,
It's a cliche.
Dallas gets to go up and say, there's leprechauns.
Do it, Dallas.
I'll let you
Yeah.
take it away.
Dakota
So
Dakota like turns to him and she puts her hand on his shoulder and she's like, "Don't worry about Jimmy. He can't get you here. You can do this. You're my brother."
And the music weirdly goes like do 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 do.
And then it shows Dallas going up, and he's just like kind of scared looking, and everyone in the audience is just like looking up at like, oh, what, he's gonna say something, and he's like really nervous, and then he pauses for a second, and then he reaches back and he pulls his baseball cap out of his back pocket,
Yeah.
and he looks at it, and it's all dirty and stuff, and he puts it back on, and then when he's talking into the microphone, it's perfectly pristine and clean again.
Yeah, the first time it's like
That was their attempt at continuity.
yeah.
Everyone, you gotta listen. The leprechauns are here. They're here to eat us.
And everyone stops what they're doing.
laughing. Everybody's
And they
laughing.
hold on, stop.
There's leprechauns everywhere.
Stop. And everyone stops what they're doing. And they turn to the stage. And the mayor is standing there, and he's wearing this big green bow, and he walks up, he's like, "What are you talking about, little boy? Leprechauns?" And he turns, and everyone starts laughing. Ah, ha, ha, ha. And he turns back. "Are you telling us there's leprechauns here?"
Yes, yes. Look, I have this ring from Mr. Bernard. You know how he disappeared? Well, we found it.
And he looks at it from like way down. He like reaches up and suddenly has it. He's like, "Well, I guess he's telling the truth, folks." And everyone starts laughing again. He's like, "I mean, after all, of course we're leprechauns." And he like smiles, and suddenly he's got like sharp teeth, and all the people in the town turn. They're like, and your parents are there, and they're like, and suddenly
God.
everybody in town is a leprechaun. and he's like, "Ha ha! Don't you understand where you are, little boy? You're in Ireland, where everyone is a leprechaun." And really insensitive, everyone starts moving towards this stage, but in like a like a really slow pan around, and the three of you are standing up there. Yeah, but there's still like a very clear exit for you.
Yeah.
Mom, Dad, no!
It's not so bad, Dakota. Because like the writers of this, you know, obviously they're familiar with the legend, but they don't know anything about it, so they're like, I assume leprechauns are like vampires, so we'll just sort of cross.
Yes, the leprechaun is just the Irish vampire.
It will be a very good twist.
We all know this.
And then what will happen is that people will turn, and then mom and dad will be one too. Do you know?
Yes,
Because they got beat
we
in the
will-
middle of the night. It's perfect.
We will win Oscar for this one for sure.
Definitely for sure. But you know, I was thinking about the other scene that we did. More tits, eh? I think generally
Movie
more
the room. It
tits.
has nothing on us.
Yes. So yeah,
It's a good idea.
The
Let me
commentary
go
track
and-
fades in for a second for some weird reason. It fades right back. It's like incorrectly cut. And then you see,
good.
and then
Brennan, and
as
there's-
you like, sorry, go ahead, Brennan.
Okay, so Brennan's like, run!
And you run, and you're running down the back, and as you're like running towards the town hall, 3 bikes skid, and they're like, "Where are you going?" Yeah, you're not welcome here. But their like backs are to all the leprechauns that are like approaching you, and they're like, "Come on, let's beat them up. They're pieces of shit." But like, there's like an impending doom behind them.
I would like to throw my baseball at Jimmy.
Do it.
Okay.
Give me 3d6, all positives.
Excellent. I
All
love
good
that you did that.
D6s. You got it.
Yeah, the 3 succeeds. You chuck your baseball bat, and it's like punk, and it falls back, and the other 2 boys are like laughing because you know they just laugh at everything now. And they're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
Jimmy, he got you good." And Jimmy's like on the floor, and the mayor and the other human leprechauns stand around, and he's like, "Oh, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to press charges." And he holds up his finger. The mayor takes his hand and bites off his finger, and it's like really grisly. And he's like, "Ah!" And the other boys are like, "Ugh!" And they all get like consumed by the leprechaun people. But rather than get turned, they get eaten alive.
Yeah.
So like, there's already an inconsistency in the villains in many different ways. You're like, wait, but hold on, are they leprechauns? What's with the eggs? And why
Zombie
are people being turned?
leprechauns. And no explanation as to why just these 3 children are not leprechauns,
course
but
not.
everyone
Fine.
else.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great.
And then they get eaten alive. Like
Perfect.
really,
Yep.
you know, like they're just tearing
And
their
Dallas
organs
is there, and
apart.
he's like, "Ha! Serves you right, you bullies."
Yeah, but it's like so uncompared to the visceral horror
Yeah.
that's like their heads are being stretched off and they're like screaming and they're like their hands are being shoved down their mouth and you're just
Yeah.
like,
For
Yep.
no reason, Dakota is like looking at the scene through a window and seeing all of this happen like
Suddenly-
in from an alleyway. and
suddenly
she's
you're
like,
all
"Oh,
inside. Suddenly
Oh
you're
no!
you're inside the town hall all of a sudden. And then,
Yeah,
then the mob just turns around and heads back to the festivities. yeah, that's that. Now you're in the town hall.
Great.
And Brendan's the actor playing Brendan is like overly acting. We escaped from them. Now we just need to find the treasure.
Well, now hold down there. And there's a voice from the top of the stairs. Is everything all right? And a gentleman walks down. He's like an old gentleman. Are you okay? What are you doing in the town hall? Aren't you going to go see the festivities?
You don't understand. Something terrible has happened. The whole town is leprechauns.
I'm sure. Yeah, like that's not fake blood on you. I know what's going on with kids these days with your video games and your Pac-Man and your Ace of Base walkie-talkies. I mean, look at and he points to your walkie-talkie.
She now has it on her again for no reason.
Silly. I don't believe you. And he walks towards the door and opens it, and like a leprechaun pulls him out. Whoa! And he just gets eaten alive. And that was it.
And that's
There's
when-
no like tension. We're just like, all right, now let's find
Yeah,
the treasure.
like the director owed a bet, and he was like, "I'll put you in the movie.
Yeah.
Just be cool, okay? But I'm
And
gonna
then-
kill you."
And then there's like this scene that it cuts to, which is totally out of the blue, but someone knew someone new that works at the town hall. It's
Yeah, there's like a scientist. He's like a scientist
only-
walks out, and he's like, "Did
they
I hear a
only
scream?"
to protect you.
Yeah, he's like, "Come with me,
Where?
come with me," and he like leads you, and like he opens his bookcase in the town hall, and he like leads you, and there's like this like laboratory set, and he like shuts it. He's like, "I've been trying to study the leprechaun problem since I arrived here from
wait.
America."
But wait. It's not, with vampires, you have to hang garlic, But
Yeah.
because we're in Ireland,
It's Gaelic.
you have to put Gaelic. So somehow
How do
the
you do
Russians
that? He like writes it on your
hang
skin.
the Gaelic. Of course, I hang
Of
the Gaelic.
course, that
Leprechauns
makes
hate
so much
Gaelic.
sense.
But here, there's something else. And he walks over and he like uncovers this furrowed sheet, and there's like a dissected leprechaun. And he's like, "You'll notice here, the bladder is filled with gold coins. Their blood is gold coins. If you destroy the treasure, you'll be able to kill them. But the leprechauns are very..." And then he vomits green. It's like, and he's like, "No."
Oh no, he's one of them.
And then you're in a laboratory set,
no.
and he's like pushing a cart, and he's doing it's like a recut of the scene where the guy was dodging the pool, but now he's like there's like a gurney in front of him. And he's like,
Dakota like grabs an Erlenmeyer flask that's just sitting, like it's got something bubbling in it, like this like red liquid that's bubbling and exuding all this steam. She splashes it in his face.
"Give me a roll."
All right, let's see what happens.
Perfect.
Oh.
A 6, a 1, and a 3.
Success with a negative, so a little bit of the acid gets on your hand, so you take a little bit of damage, but it lands right in his face. It's Gaelic water. And he like turns into one of those little piles of splooge, which also made no sense. Why was that there? I don't know. And then the stairs. You hear leprechauns moving in through the basement.
Yeah. Yeah.
Little feet.
We have to
then-
find their treasure.
Yeah. And it cuts to Brennan, and there's like a bunch of like empty glasses that have clearly, like, they're all Guinness glasses. They've all like clearly been emptied, and the same is clearly drunk. He's like, "Yeah, we need to find the treasure."
Yeah, and Tommy, who's still alive, by the way, he came back, remember? He's like,
good.
"Come on, guys, let's go." And he's like running through a hall in the basement, and it's like the music's starting up again.
There's like torches on the walls.
Yeah, but there's like a lot. Yeah, it gets very like medieval for some reason, and you're running all very like exaggerated. You're like,
The camera's like zooming in and out.
and
as you're
because
running.
they couldn't afford the costumes, you just see a bunch of like shadows of the creatures following you. Like there's a pretty bright light. You see all these like on the wall projected sort of on an angle, but nothing's actually chasing you yet, just because it's too expensive to get everyone in makeup. And then they turn the corner, and there's like a lead one, and then there's the mask used in the other shot, and then just everyone else is just like kind of covered their face, and then just regular people. There's just like regular people in there like making faces but trying to be the goblins. And you're like, yeah.
It's just slightly out of focus, so it's
Yes.
a little bit blurry.
Yeah. And
If we make it out of focus, they won't notice a scene
the commentary track comes back in.
in all my films.
This is the scene we wanted the actors to be extra expressive with their hands.
It's too
Here you can see the actress playing Dakota. She really was doing a good job with her hands, wafting them into the air. She was very expressive with her hands. We really liked this, so we made it the cover of the film. And it cuts to the cover of the film where she's like, and you run down this like medieval hall. The torches are like all real fire lit. There was some real dangerous stuff, and there's like a fireman's pole heading down.
I'll be right back.
Fireman's pole. Say no more. Dakota jumps down first. There's like a gratuitous shot, obviously, with the camera at the bottom, like focusing like up her skirt.
Yeah,
essentially.
it's just she's wearing. I picture she's wearing like cut off jeans.
Yeah, so it's like just like
Yeah.
butt and thigh
it's just like
situation.
butt and thigh. Yeah. And like they've just her with sweat. It's just everywhere.
Obviously.
She's just like at this point she's just like wet. Just like her hair is
It's
wet.
unpleasant.
It's very uncomfortable. And then Dallas, it's your turn, but the goblins are coming up. One grabs you. They're goblins again, by the way. And one grabs your shirt a little bit. Give me a roll.
No, get off. You want me to roll?
Yeah, give me a roll. Give me 2d6.
All right.
One positive, one negative.
D6. Boom. I got double ones.
That means
Snake
nothing
eyes.
happens. That's amazing.
Cool.
Yeah. So you break free.
Awesome. I break free, and then it cuts to me just being at the bottom because in this scene, the little boy they got to play the actor was too scared to go down the fireman's pole.
Yeah, no, they got it's like he goes on the pole, then there's a shot of a grown man descending in his costume, and then he just steps
Or
off
it's just
the
like
pole.
a camera on the pole, and there's just like 2 pant legs with some shoes, and it's just
Yeah.
like shh.
Oh, that's creative.
Whoa.
And then Brendan slides down the fireman pole, and you're all standing in the bottom. And now it's like dungeon level. Oh, and Timmy's there too. He's like, "Come on, guys, we're almost there, probably." And he starts heading towards the dungeon.
We have to save our parents.
Yeah, there's no recognition that Tommy didn't die.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
There's just like no nothing.
Well, they cut him back in because they realized they needed more runtime. So they're like, "Oh, what the fuck do we do?" So then you get to like this dungeon door for some reason, and Tommy like stops everyone. He's like, "Remember, we have to destroy the treasure." And then he opens this like iron gate, and you're in this large circular room with stone walls and sconces, and there's a big pot of gold in the center.
And
But-
everyone's face is like lit with gold. It's so
the like
beautiful.
light. Yeah, it's like got gold light on your face, despite being like 50 feet away.
But I don't want to destroy it. I want to take it. Brendan
Look,
says
think
without
of-
any care.
Think about how many pairs of shoes this could buy.
And
Wow.
and Tommy
All the
steps in
comic
front.
Books I could buy.
No, you need to resist the temptation. That's what Old Man Weatherby said.
Dallas is like the only one actually acting. Take it away, my friend.
Sorry, the Weatherby line got me real good.
We slowly walk forward, the three of us, like we're taking steps. It's like synchronicity or in sync.
I'm doing this again. Okay.
Do it. So the three of us are walking forward, left foot, right foot, left foot, right.
Right
Just-
foot.
And
Yeah,
then
and
we
there's a streak
approach.
of rainbow coming down to the pot. Just to add to the cliche horribleness.
Yeah.
And then you hear a
But how
big
did
rumbling.
they? Wait. Can I ask you? How do they
Hold
do
on.
that?
And then there's like film-wise.
Yeah. How do
Sure,
they do
as
the
the
rainbow?
screen is rumbling
Like
and a creature
cardboard?
approaches, you hear the commentary. It's like, "This is actually a filter that we put on top of the camera here. It's actually not really a rainbow, but what we did is we used the color palette from John, don't cut it in. What is it?" And then it fades out again. And you hear, and then out walks a giant gorilla in a green hat. And Timmy is like, "It's the leprechaun monster!" And like and he turns to like explain to the audience. He's like, "Remember the story that old Mr. Weatherby told us? The gorilla that wears the green hat is the one who holds the power."
It's like in true Russian fashion, like an actual chained
Yeah.
star.
Oh, it's like
gorilla.
it's like a chained
for-
it's a chained bear or something. Like it's just like wearing a gorilla mask.
Dakota starts picking up handfuls of these gold coins and just throwing them at the bear. She's
Yeah.
just throwing like so much money at this bear.
And then it cuts to the point of view of the bear because they couldn't afford a bear, and it's just got 2 claws. But every once in a while, when it like swipes, you see the stick holding the claw. So it's like from the
Yes.
point of view, and it's like, "Rrr, rrr, rrr." But it's still the guy's like the cameraman's voice, I guess. They never like overdubbed it. It's just a guy going, "Rrr, rrr," and it never actually hits. It just kind of keeps recoiling with the gold coins. Everyone give me a roll to attack this bear ape leprechaun.
How many are we rolling?
4.
Just one?
4 of how many?
4 d6s. And
I
the
don't-
last
honestly,
one will be
I
a
don't get-
negative.
Don't get to roll enough.
You will now.
Can I choose which is
Oh,
the negative?
yikes.
So Joe gets eliminated. Nothing.
Yeah,
James rolls.
Turns out throwing coins at a bear does very
So,
little.
Yeah. Joe, you do not succeed, but you do not take damage. James, you do succeed, but you do take a little bit of damage. Alex, what are your numbers?
Does it matter what order they go in?
Just read me all 4.
6113.
613. So you take a little bit of damage, but you succeed twice. So, Brennan, you do the most damage, but you take a little hit. James, you do a little bit of damage and you take a hit. Dakota, you miss completely. Tell us how that works, starting with Dallas.
So Dallas is like also trying to throw coins and stuff, and for some reason there's another baseball in there that gets thrown at the gorilla. But as it's coming back, like you see the gorilla arm like pop out a little bit, and it's like swipes the ball back, and then it just cuts to him, and the ball comes and it just thunks him in the head, and he goes ah.
It does, yeah, and it's like a real hit. You're like, it's like a real reaction. They cut it too quick. Dakota, tell us how you miss and get a little wounded, I think, or you just miss.
I just missed. Well, Dakota's like throwing coins at this bear, and the bear's like gaining on her and gaining on her. And as she bends down to pick up more coins, she lifts up a handful, and then the bear's right on top of her, and she screams and drops all the coins, and then she just runs away.
But it's the scream from before. The close-up cut, they just reused it.
Oh,
she's like,
Zoom also thinks I'm playing music now.
Good.
Nice.
And then Brennan, tell us how you hurt this thing a lot.
Okay, so
and
there's
take a little bit of damage.
It's sort of a sad scene, whereas like you know it's a movie, but at the same time, this like actor like hits a bear with a baseball bat, and like the bear doesn't want to be. I know.
It's just like fighting back. It's like,
at the same time, it's like just so bad that like this bear is not attacking. It's like backing away, and yet the actor.
I feel really bad for this bear.
It's a fake bear, guys.
I don't like this movie anymore.
I know. I don't either. But
what happens is Brendan, the actor, is like doing it, and the bear's like fighting it, and then there's a quick cut where the bear turns on the guy holding the chain and just swipes at his face, and then it cuts, and then it's suddenly a fake bear again. It's like because it turned and killed. Production gets everyone's like 2 weeks older because the production got cut down because there's like a blood stain on the floor for where the bear killed its owner.
Yeah,
and now
all the actor's hair is like an inch longer. Yeah. Slightly styled differently.
I actually did a film like that, funny enough.
Yeah, and then it's like and then suddenly from nowhere Tommy's like behind it. He's like, I got it. And he like snaps the gorilla's neck, and the gorilla before it does picks him up and like puts Tommy's, it's the exact same shot again where he puts him, he's like, and Tommy's like, no, and then Tommy gets eaten again. But the thing dies apparently. You don't really see what happens.
No,
and then the three of you are standing there with this rainbow. Yeah, you react to Tommy's death, I guess.
No.
Oh no. Tommy.
He'll always be in our hearts.
And then it cuts to Brennan, and he pulls out lighter fluid, and he starts like pouring it onto the pot of gold. He's like, we need to burn this. And this is, at this point, this is like the best acting you've seen the entire film. He's like, we need to burn the gold. We need to burn it. We need to burn the gold.
And then you hear a voice from behind you, and it's Marnie. And she's like, but do you really want to burn the gold? Well, you can have me if you keep the gold, she says, like not looking at you, entering the frame.
How did I remember that name and you forgot it?
I said Marnie.
It's Marcy.
Marcy, whatever. They changed her.
This movie doesn't need continuity.
Yeah. She's like, oh, hi, Brennan. Remember when you talked to me? Well, you can have all of this if you wanted to not burn the gold, because realistically, I'll be with anybody if he has that kind of gold.
And there's like a comic relief. It's like, okay.
But she's like walking towards you slowly.
So Brennan like drops, and so again, film wise, it makes sense. Brennan like drops the lighter fluid, and he's like, well, he's now entranced with this Marcy. He's like, oh, you, I'll do anything for
and
you.
Like the camera shows the back of her, and like the back of her is a leprechaun for some reason. It's just like it's the front of her Marcy, but the back's a leprechaun. Like it's putting on a trick. They can also change.
And I like to think that the actor, the two actors, the actor and the actress, the actor approaches and like getting way too handsy with this.
Yeah, and then it cuts, and she's like another 5 feet away. They're like, okay, cut, stand back. But Dakota and Dallas, you see your brother being manipulated by this.
Yeah, Dakota grabs Dallas's hand again for no reason, and she's like, let's find out if being twins really is good luck. And then she holds out a book of matches to him. Like she's going to hold the book and he can grab a match and they can like do it together. Like it's a twin thing.
Yeah, twin thing.
Yeah.
So she like holds the matchbook.
And Dallas grabs the one match and he's holding it really dramatically with both hands, and they puts it on the matchbook and
she's
tries
holding
to
the matchbook.
Yeah,
with
and
both
we try and
hands.
strike it.
They
And
both.
you do. And in slow motion, the match falls on the pot of gold, and Marcy's like, and you see like flames erupt from her, and flames erupt from the core, and this like blinding light just starts bleeding through the sky. And you're like, yeah, and then it's like, and you see like a slow motion cut where she's like, you know how it's like choppy cut, like where she just like melts away, and everything becomes white, and there's just no sound. It's like a full 3 seconds. And then it like smash cuts back to the farmhouse. And Jack, your dad, and Marion, your mom, are like loading up the car. And they have very visible cuts and scars on them. And he's like, well, kids, this was quite a vacation, wasn't it? Like suddenly it's a vacation and you didn't move here. And he's like repacking the car. And you three are like standing on the front of the car. And he's like, oh, what did you say you did again while we were sleeping?
Oh, we were just playing baseball.
And like immediately the credits start rolling. It's like no decompression time. It's just like immediately baseball.
And then there's like one last shot underneath the credits of the three of us and Tommy, and it's like an aerial shot, and it's
again.
slowly like backing out, and of us just playing baseball in a field.
Yeah.
It's just like the
Yeah.
4 kids like getting smaller and smaller.
Yeah, and then as it pulls out, you realize that it's all on a leprechaun's face, and he's like, and then it zooms in again on his mouth, and then it's like,
Cut to black.
and that was when Irish eyes are dying.
Oh my god.
Was there
my
ever
God.
a better game?
God, this has been my favorite B-roll movie. Thank you
Great
so much.
job, guys.
Yes. Good job, everyone.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight on the Invictus stream, ladies and gentlemen.
James, it was a pleasure to play with you.
Oh, it's a
God, we
pleasure to
should
play
do
with you. Alex, this is a lot of fun. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, man.
Um,
It's a pleasure to play with you, Harlan and Joe. I play with you all the time, though.
and
Yeah.
James. Oh, I thought. Oh, you said James. I cut you off. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
No, James is great.
Thank you.
James is the best, and we love playing with James too.
Shucks.
You know why?
Love being here. Anytime, every time.
I kind of feel like sometimes it's like a hit or a miss. How you, maybe I'm getting too introspective about this, but sometimes it's a hit and a miss. How you feel about, like I honestly the last Nazi game we played, I feel like I misplayed my way off.
I liked it. I think you did
So-
great in that one.
I thought it was okay, but I just
Oh, I
feel
thought it was
like
funny. I like that one.
People are saying that this is the sequel to that game.
Well,
Yeah.
just wait till next year, ladies and gentlemen, when we do When Irish Eyes Are Dying 2, The Dieting.
Yeah.
Next St. Patrick's Day.
And that's a guarantee.
Everyone will be
yeah.
recast. Nothing to do with anything. Leprechauns will be featured in it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out with us. This has been the Invictus stream. Hope you have a wonderful night and a wonderful St. Patrick's Day. Joe has to go to work, so we are going to get off. And as my brother Alex always likes to say...
See you next time.